These are 7 lessons that dissolve negative emotions. If you follow them, you will be free from the pain that once imprisoned you. Lesson number 1. The emotions you feel don't define who you are. When an emotion appears, the mind constructs a self-image around it. I am anxious, I am angry, I am failing. Suddenly, the emotion becomes a personal identity. This illusion gives it a sense of permanence, making it appear like a fixed truth about you. Every emotion is transient, but identity makes it feel eternal. Once you observe the emotion as a visitor, rather than a definition of who you are, the sense of imprisonment weakens. This recognition allows you to experience emotions without being owned by them. Lesson number 2. Negative emotions are fueled by thoughts, not by reality. The mind creates a chain reaction. One emotion activates one thought, and that thought triggers a cascade of new interpretations. The issue is not the original feeling, but the mental acceleration that unfolds around it. You feel sadness, and instantly the mind fabricates narratives of loss, failure, or lack. These narratives hypnotize you and keep you busy in inner loops. But if you pause before following the thought that arises, the emotional storm begins to lose its force. This small pause becomes a doorway to freedom because it breaks the automatic momentum that turns a brief emotion into a prolonged mental narrative. Lesson number 3. When you resist an emotion, it becomes the center of your world. Resisting a feeling is like trying to escape your own reflection. The more you push, the bigger it becomes. The mind seeks to protect you from unpleasant feelings by trying to control them, but that control creates inattention because it treats the emotions as something dangerous. They feel overwhelming, not because they are powerful, but because your resistance magnifies them. Yet when you allow the feeling to exist without pushing it away, you stop giving it energy. This openness creates space for the emotion to complete its natural cycle, instead of expanding into unnecessary suffering. Lesson number 4. A negative emotion becomes a prison when you attach a story to it. Any feeling by itself is a wave of energy. It rises, peaks, and dissolves. The problem appears when the mind treats the emotion as proof of danger, inadequacy, or injustice. For example, feeling anxiety after a mistake is not the real issue. The conflict arises when the mind interprets that sensation as evidence that something is wrong with you. Interpretation freezes the emotion, almost like turning water into ice. When you notice this mechanism, you recognize that you are not confronting the emotion, but the mental story attached to it. If you let go of that story, the emotion loses its anchor and begins to dissolve on its own. Lesson number 5. Suffering grows when the mind uses emotions as lenses to see the world. An uncomfortable feeling becomes a filter that colors your entire perception, and the mind starts reading the world through that filter. Fear makes everything look unsafe. Shame makes everything feel personal. Sadness turns neutral events into signs of loss. In this state, the emotion doesn't just stay inside you, it shapes how you experience everything. But the emotion is not reflecting reality, it's reflecting your perception of it. When you recognize this, you stop confusing the lens with the world, and you are able to see reality as it is. Lesson number 6. Most emotional pain comes from the mind replaying the past or predicting the future. The raw emotion lives in the present, but suffering often comes from mental time travel. You resurrect old wounds or imagine painful futures, and the body reacts as if they were happening now. This creates an emotional loop, disconnected from the present moment. When you return attention to what is actually happening, the mind stops producing extra layers of pain. This return to the present exposes how much of your suffering never belonged to the moment you are actually living. Lesson number 7. The emotion shows you a belief you are still protecting. Every strong emotion reveals a hidden assumption, some belief you defend because you are attached to it. Fear may point to a belief in inadequacy. Anger may reflect a belief in threat. Shame may expose a belief in unworthiness. The emotion is not the problem. It is a symptom of the belief system you are holding about yourself or the world. When you investigate the belief behind the emotion, you touch the root of your experience. And once you see that root clearly, you can replace the old belief with a more honest and less punishing interpretation of yourself and reality. One that no longer generates unnecessary suffering. Subscribe to the Intronaut channel to go deeper into the mind, emotions, and reality. Leave a like if this resonated with you. Until the next video.